Let me tell you a little story. A little story about 3 lilies that I planted earlier this year. I didn't plant them in the right conditions. I didn't plant them in the right space. Their sunlight is not ideal. Really, it's not ideal at all. And I've watched these lilies grow over the last few months. And they grew their stems and their leaves and their greenery. And then finally their buds. So I've been watching this one lily, the one that gets just a little bit more sunlight, and its bud is so close to opening, and I just can't wait. Just can't wait. But every time I drive past these lilies, I hear in the spirit, bloom where you're planted. And it makes me think of all the times in my life where I put something off, not because I didn't want to do it, because the conditions weren't just right. Because, I mean, if I wait a couple months, then something will be better. The resources might be better. The conditions might be better. Yeah. But sometimes we're not supposed to wait till conditions are better. Sometimes we're meant to bloom right where God puts us, wherever that is and whatever that looks like. There's a blessing in that. And sometimes it don't look nothing like we thought it would. I don't know, I think back over times and trials in my life and things that, I didn't want to do because, you know, the timing wasn't just right. And it bloomed where I was planted because everything wasn't perfect in my eyes. Sometimes we're just meant to bloom where God puts us. And I don't know, maybe there's a word in that for you. Maybe these 3 lilies have just been a reminder to me that even in the midst of this, that, and the other, and all the stuff that, I'm still intended to bloom. It may not look the way I wanted, and my conditions may not be ideal. And Lord knows these lilies' conditions aren't ideal. Let me show you what they're dealing. I planted these lilies. There's one. As you see, I just stuck some bulbs in the ground where I thought they might get enough sun. There's 2, and look, this one's an overachiever. See the 2 buds? But here's the one, walk down a little bit more. Here's the one I have been watching so closely. Look, she's planted here amongst nothing. And a cedar tree, just nothing. Some cactus have popped up over there. It's not a pristine flower bed. Let's be honest, it's not a flower bed at all. It is my attempt at wanting beauty in the middle of the woods. But look how close she is to blooming right where I put her. And in God's time, she'll bloom right where I put her. So, I don't know. Maybe there's a word in that for you. Take it back to the Lord. Maybe it'll speak to your heart the way it has spoke to my heart as I have driven past and walked past these lilies for weeks now. To bloom where you're planted. Happy blooming.